language! What the heck? Okay, so, and we just zoom out here. So yeah, we're pretty much doing a DG Bro reaction video. Yeah, so I know I haven't really done a lot of videoing lately, mainly because, okay, little bit of background as of going right now. What's been going on is, well, my dad's kind of getting tired of, you know, sustaining me, so I figured, you know what, might as well give him a reason to try to, at the very least, you know, let me help pay for the gas and the bills. So I decided to pretty much get into community college, you know, try to actually make something of myself, because I cannot keep working at McDonald's for the rest of my life. It is literally going to kill me. And also I got a new haircut. Yeah, I know. Everyone's been talking about it for some reason. I'm just like, it's just me with shorter hair. What's the big goddamn deal, okay? So anyways, I figured, you know what, screw it. We're going to do a video and might as well cannibalize off of another YouTuber, to be honest. Specifically, DG Bro. Now, he hasn't, I think as far as I've seen, I haven't really seen most of his new content either because the algorithm is doing something wonky or something like that. Or maybe he has taken a break just like me. Or, I don't know what's been going on with him. But, yeah, this is the recent video he made. It's on the first episode of Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online. And I'll go ahead and say this. If you guys want me to do a review on it, I would like to see some love in the comment section. Let me actually see something, because I know I'm starting out small, but come on, I want at the very least at least break 10,000, something like that. At the very least, make that a milestone. 10,000 subscribers. That would be nice, or something. I don't know. That's just me. That's just personal goals at the moment. Maybe I'm shooting too high. Maybe I'm shooting too low. I have no clue, to be honest. But let's actually go into this now. Here's the thing of what this video is going to be about. I actually do like DG Bro. You know, he does make pretty good videos, and sometimes he actually does expose a couple of things that maybe I had no idea about. Like he's sort of my senpai. I would say he's my sensei, but here's the thing. You can kind of talk up to your senpai in the sense that sometimes you get things wrong. And, you know, and we're not talking about, you know, maybe you forgot to carry a 1. We're talking 3 plus 4 equals 5 wrong. Like, you kind of forgot a couple of steps, or maybe you didn't include a couple of numbers, or, you know, it's like I don't know, maybe it's just like I have certain experiences that maybe DG Bro hasn't had, or that kind of stuff, you know, or maybe my way of seeing something is probably a little different from the way he sees it, and vice versa. So pretty much, especially when it comes to military anime, for some reason, like I've noticed that usually we're at odds with each other, and sometimes I'm just yelling at the screen and I'm just like, dude, you kind of got some incorrect information there, brah. So yeah, today we're pretty much gonna go into this video. We're gonna de-piece it a little bit, and we're gonna try to, hopefully he does see this and he does appreciate that, although I am pointing out a couple of flaws, maybe a couple of things that he maybe didn't know about, that I still appreciate his videos, and I would very much appreciate it if you guys went over and showed him some love. Tell him that I sent you there, you know, because, you know, I kind of want to be a little bit recognized. But, yeah, for simplicity's sake, so I pretty much have a list of grievances. And some of them, honestly, maybe aren't necessarily grievances, or just things I want to point out. So, yeah, we're just going to go into it, just onto it. So pretty much I have a couple of timestamps that I've placed here and there. So let's actually go ahead and get to the first one. And it's kind of hard to get to it. There we go. Dude, language.
Which has pretty nice looking backgrounds, but the way that he generated them was simply to take, like, for instance, a splotch tool that has a specific custom pattern that he's developed, and just slap 3 different layers of green over top of each other, and now you got leaves. I mean, you can see it over here. If you look at what these trees are, like, they are believable as plants, but when you look at it, you can tell it's just splotch tools over each other. There's no detail in any of it. I mean, I guess that's basically what painting is, except that it's made a lot easier with digital tools.
Yeah, I guess I can see why, the certain camp he comes from. He is one of those people that really does understand that anime is a visual medium, and that, yeah, there are certain things that if you do notice them, will kind of take you out of the experience. However, I do like to also recommend that visuals aren't necessarily everything. They don't, like, it really just depends on the type of style. And yeah, I can understand that cheap and generic, if you see it too many times, you kind of void of taste, power. And yeah, that, maybe they should spend a little bit more time, probably polishing a lot of stuff, probably making everything a little bit prettier. But at the same time, it's like, that does cost money. That does, it's not exactly, you can't really go into it without a certain amount of risk. And yes, I do believe in the idea of high risk, high reward, but at the same time, sometimes you can't really afford to take that risk. And also, sometimes when you're really looking at anime, like, say, for example, Kemono Friends, for those of you who've seen that, it's basically Zabumafu meets Adventure Time. Basically, sometimes you don't even need that good of an art. Just so long as you have charm, or pretty much everything else balances it out. Or maybe it's like, maybe you don't really have to try that hard, given your target audience, or maybe you do just try where it really matters. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of the situation. That's, at least for me, at least for me, that's the case, in which why I'm willing to let something go like this. In the sense that, yeah, you should strive to make better art, but at the same time, it's like, if you can't, it's like, if I can choose between an anime with good story, but with crappy art, versus an anime with good art, but crappy story, I'd rather take the one with the crappy art. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. And the next timestamp.
This is one of those things that happens a lot that I don't understand. If you're gonna make a shot that's showy and like, oh, we're doing it, we're going all out, then it immediately defeats the point if it looks like you couldn't actually pull it off. Like, this is just a bunch of clone-stamped trees and bushes, like, on, layers just passing up to the camera. It's like, we've just got a bunch of flat, plain cells. I mean, obviously not actual cells, but digital cells that are being moved towards the camera one after another. They look really bad. The bushes in particular look really terrible. Like,
again, the same grievances I had before going into this. But I would like to mention that, one, I've seen video games like Call of Duty and Battlefield also have this kind of problem, because I don't know if it's just me, but also the running looks a little too much like, say, if you've ever played Call of Duty, then you'll notice that sometimes if you get too close to the point where your gun should be disappearing into a guy's face, it doesn't. It really is just it's like you were wearing glasses and the gun is just, it's like you're just wearing glasses with a hologram of a gun in there. And, this is kind of where head glitching comes in. But, yeah, and, I've heard that the next COD is going to try to rectify that by actually having physical bullets manifest themselves. But, I don't know, like, this isn't really, like, again, the whole art thing, like, again, I'll take an anime with crappy art but good story any time of the day, but, like, do strive to make better art. But, I don't know. This guy tends to be pretty anal about this stuff. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I really have to say on this part. I really do understand where he's coming from. I really do. But sometimes, well, I'll explain this in the next timestamp.
These guys are just like not even in cover in any ways. Like our dudes are fucking gorillaing around.
Dude, language.
These guys are just like shirtless, walking around town, just waiting to die.
Again, I understand. Like, some people just honestly don't care about playing the objective. Honestly, they just want to dick around. Like, just let a guy, you know, if that's how they want to play, if they want to be a bunch of dumbasses, let them be a bunch of dumbasses. I honestly would not really care so much. Rather, honestly, I know that there are some people that maybe want to go like knives only or that kind of stuff. Or, you know what? If that's how you want to play it, fine. If you want to lose, fine. Just don't drag me down with you. That is pretty much me. Although I usually do end up dragging people down sometimes with the games, usually because I haven't really played that many games in a while. And that's just pretty much me. Okay, next timestamp.
I would like to remind you that in the universe of Gun Gale Online, everyone receives totally random character designs. You enter the game and it picks a character for you. And yet somehow, everyone seems to manage to get an avatar that just exactly represents their personality in the most cliche way imaginable.
Algorithms, bro. Okay, I don't know, maybe it's just me, or maybe, I mean, if you really think about it, the way the atmosphere works, it not only is able to, sort of project images into your head via, I don't know what they're using now, I think it's maybe ultrasonics, or long story short, it's able to stimulate the brain directly through some manner, and it is able to receive stimulations from the brain as well. You know, like it's able to read brain waves. Now, this is just me, but it could be possible that maybe while it's selecting the character, it's sort of reading the visualization of the character you want to have. And and if you tie that back to the original Sword Art Online 2, I should probably say the original version of GGO, Sword Art Online 2. And then it could be totally possible that Kirito was just thinking of, hey, how crazy would, like, just subconsciously, I'd want to be a girl to get away from all the other chicks. They are constantly chasing me. You know, did you ever think about that? Like, maybe he subconsciously wants to become a transvestite. It could be possible. Again, I'm not shaming anyone who wants to dress like a chick, or like any dude that wants to dress like a chick, or a chick that wants to dress like a dude. I'm not shaming them. On the contrary, you do you, my friend. But I'm just saying, some people have very subconscious ideas that do manage to bleed out into other areas. Like, it's like it might not be them exactly, but sometimes people get very nutty ideas that come out of just nowhere, and it's just like, dude, you kind of need to get yourself checked psychologically, or maybe this really is you, and I really need to be more tolerant. I don't know. It is. Wait, is Pride Month still going? I think. Yeah, it's still going. So yeah. Okay.
Again, in this realistic military shooter game, the med packs are just some glowy Phantasy Star Online bullshit that heals
Dude!
your health bar, which is not something I would even expect to exist in a game like this.
X-Stats, bro. Now, for those of you who have no idea, X-Stats are basically this thing from... This is something I found out through a Game Theory. If you guys don't know, I think I mentioned Game Theory before, or I think actually no, it was Film Theory. But Game Theory is like the original, created by Matt Pat. Basically, they mentioned in one episode that where they talked about health packs, that it's actually a little bit more accurate that they use health packs instead of just regenerating health. Although even that's becoming a little bit more realistic. But basically, in the case of health packs, yeah, there actually is a thing where you can actually inject yourself. Like, if you get shot a certain amount of times, or if one of the shots is, like if you're bleeding out real bad, where basically you can just inject yourself with something that actually creates a plug. Like it actually, like let's say I get shot in the arm. Basically, I just inject myself with something, and it basically has these little foam pockets that suddenly absorb your blood, puff up, so that it basically clogs up. It keeps you from bleeding out. Sure, you're going to be bleeding in, and there's probably still a bullet in you, but at least, hey, you don't have to worry about the blood going out of you. And, you know, they have actually approved it for military use. So it could be that that's just the inspiration for that, but that's just me. Again, maybe it's because I know a little bit more about the military, or maybe because I'm a little bit more well-rounded in my media consumption. I don't know. It's just what comes to my head. All right, next slide. Oh God!
For no reason. I like how on the main characters team, they're like very diverse from one another, but everyone else is the vibe of the exact same folk. Because why would you want to have a variety of playstyles? Why would you want to have a full party where everyone has skills that complement each other when you can just group up with 5 identical fuckboys and
Dude!
because you're all using the same strategy.
Okay, I really have to go on this, and maybe, again, this is probably why I subscribe to a lot of other channels, but basically, this, I guess the idea would have to come from ninjas, in the sense that, have you ever noticed that, maybe the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are probably the only turtles, or the only ninjas, that you can actually tell apart from? And that's not necessarily a good thing. And in some episodes of the TMNT, you actually notice that sometimes it's like Master Splinter tells them to train with their other brothers' weapons. Because, 1, versatility, and 2, sometimes it adds to maybe become a little bit more well-rounded with your equipment. And I think that's kind of what's going on with the other guys, or at least with the pros. In the sense that, you know, yes, one guy is really good as a sniper, one guy is really good as a grenadier, one guy is really good as a shotgun user, and the other one's just a very good leader, that kind of stuff. But maybe they'd still want you at the very least stay the same in terms of appearance, in order to give off the idea that they're all the same, and that you should approach each one the same way. Maybe that's part of the tactic, or strategy, I don't know. But I know that's kind of what they do, not only with ninjas, but also with special forces. This is why, oftentimes, it depends on the situation. Sometimes, yes, you do want your soldiers to be very distinct, or very able to blend into the environment. In fact, they actually do mention that that certain regulations, like say you have to no beards or something like that, they're actually the exception, because they want to be able to blend in with the environment, especially urban populations. And but overall, if it's like something where it's like it has to be covert, it has to be done real quick, it has to be done precisely, then yeah, they'll want to dress them all up in the same way and probably hide their faces so that nothing gives away that you know, maybe one guy's different, maybe one guy's the same guy. So anyways, that's just me. Now we're getting to the part that really kind of burns under my skin. Maybe a little bit too much. Maybe I'm just being a little too anal about things. Or I'm using the word anal a little too much, but here we go.
Okay, so he's theorizing that this team doesn't care about winning. They're just using this as a training exercise for real-world combat, since they are a real combat team. Never mind that they already seem to be well-trained, to the point that they are better than everyone else in this game. If being well-trained in real life means that you're too good at the game and you dominate everyone else, how will it train you to play the fucking game?
Okay, first off, language, dude! Okay, I cannot take this, I'm barely starting! And second off, my dog's doing something a little crazy, I might have to get out. And second off, I'm gonna have to zoom in because I really need to explain this. Jesus Christ, what's going on with you, buddy? You've been doing this thing for a while. I kind of already fed you. Okay, This is where I pull it out. On Combat, the psychology and physiology of deadly conflict and war and peace. And I really... Okay, so that's why you've been acting a little crazy. Somehow he steals the show. Alright, go. Even when he's not in the screen, he somehow manages to steal the show. I don't know how my dog does it. But anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Lieutenant David Grossman. Now, here's the thing. You can actually become better at real life combat if you actually do train with video games. Now, I'll go ahead and say this. If you guys don't know who David Grossman, he's basically one of the quote-unquote experts on video game violence, because he is also an expert in, actually training special forces and police and law enforcement. So, yeah, let's just say there are a couple of things that he has said that is either flat out wrong or rebutted, in the sense that, so take a lot of what I say with a grain of salt. But, in a way, you can actually train soldiers to go into any combat scenario simply by giving them a controller. Now, it's not exactly that ridiculous. It's not exactly the best idea, but when you really think about the fact that pilots are basically given the high-tech version of Flight Simulator, then it does stand to reason that the equivalent of that for infantry soldiers or spec ops would probably come in handy in training soldiers. In fact, that in one, I'll actually read an excerpt from this, is that Ray Blim, a police officer in East Providence, Rhode Island, wrote telling me about a 15-year-old police cadet who went through the qualification program of the Firearms Training Simulator, FATS. Oh, wow. And a highly realistic, state-of-the-art video simulator used by military and law enforcement agencies worldwide. Quote, he went through 5 scenarios with only 1 miss, just barely missing a headshot. He had multiple double taps to the head and center mass of the suspects. Of the 100 officers that went through the training, this cadet shot in the top 5%. So basically there were only like 4 guys that were better at him. And at the end, I questioned him about his shooting ability. He stated that he never shot a real gun in his life. Then I asked him if he played a lot of video games, and with a big smile he said, all the time. Especially the shooting ones. They're the most fun. Good thing he wants to be the good guy. So, yeah, it does stand to reason. However, I do like to mention that with the grain of salt that, hey, maybe not all people that play video games are violent, or that maybe they actually become a lot more pacifist, that maybe they actually just want to relieve some tension. Maybe that's why they're perceived as aggressive, but in reality that's just all the tension being released. That's just catharsis. Or it could also be detrimental, because I do know that later on in the show they actually one of the big buff guy, M, actually mentions that it could actually be more detrimental by playing this game if you actually go by the mechanics, because obviously real life mechanics won't work the same way as in the video game, and vice versa. So basically, in the sense that you kind of almost have to adapt. It's kind of like Ender's Game. If you guys have ever read the book or seen the movie, then you would know that Ender at the end, or at least in the games, he ends up realizing it. Hey, maybe the way we've been told to play the game isn't necessarily the way, how all the rules are set out. I think in the book it actually mentions that the way that they've been playing a certain game was that you had to shoot all the players and basically eliminate them, and basically go towards the gate. Have 4 people put their heads on the corner of each of a gate, and then have another player go through. Like, if it requires 5 players to be standing. However, Ender kind of breaks it in the sense that, hey, the whole kill everyone thing, that's just a strategy. You don't necessarily have to play it that way. So basically the way he has it is that he ends up distracting a bunch of other players in one of the games, and then a group of 5 that aren't him end up going towards the gate and going through while everyone else is just distracted. Let's go shoot Ender. Let's go shoot Ender. And it's like wait, he actually did win? He actually did win? I thought we were supposed to shoot everyone. So basically, he just re-explained the rules. And I think that's the kind of the same situation. And you know what? I think that ends up being explained here at the end of this, which is kind of why I personally enjoy it. I sort of view it through the larger picture, like it's like, what's the larger dynamic like that? I'm able to pick up on certain things like this. I don't know if DG Bro is able to pick up on things, maybe because he views different things. Like I said, maybe he's more focused on the art. I'm more focused on technicalities. But you know, let's just finish the damn thing. So yeah, I am allowed to say damn, right? Right? I'm not gonna get censored for that. Okay, let's this part. Now this is what, I'll be honest, it's one of my favorite parts of the whole show because, well, you'll see why. I'm in the wrong corner. Okay, here we go.
So this entire episode was
Got bad. Wrong one. Still gonna keep it though. Still gonna keep it though. 21, 47. Marines!
Why didn't she do this from the start? If she's this fast, why does she even need...
I'm sorry, I just needed to yell at Wolverines because for some reason I'm always thinking of Red Dawn. Anytime I see this, so this is the other time stamp. I'm sorry if that glitched out. You know, I'm just keeping it. I'm giving it a one shot. I honestly don't have time to edit this. I am that chief. Come on, guys, help me out here.
So this entire episode was 20 minutes. 20 fucking minutes.
Do language!
The two characters wandering through the forests and the towns, slowly having discussions about tactics, about how you need to fucking...
Dude!
The enemy is distracted and use all these fucking...
Yeah, come on!
skills and shit to make it through. And
Okay, you know what? Screw it. I can't do this. I'm sorry, man. I cannot, for the life of me, allow you to swear like that. I'm sorry. I can't. I just can't. I try to not swear as much as possible. If you guys catch me, let's try to at least. This is the kind of show I'm trying to run here. So yeah, I'll be honest. Like I said, the way he enjoys it is probably not the way I enjoy it. But you know what? There's multiple ways to eat ice cream. So why should I care that much? I don't know. Maybe because I want him to enjoy it the way I enjoyed it, and maybe he wants other people to enjoy it the way he enjoys it. But you know what? Like I said, there's no one singular way to enjoy something. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this show. You know what? I'm kind of thinking of maybe just to prove my point, maybe I'll review bad anime. Maybe I'll see someone who actually did enjoy the anime. But yeah, for my sake, maybe, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I review a bad anime just for the spite of it, or should I just try to catch up with the current season because I haven't really watched a lot of anime recently because I've been bogged down by real life. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, let me show me some love down in the comments. Let me see what you guys want me to review. And until then, this is me saying, thank you for being smart. Sayonara.